Some people claim that they keep all the 10 commandments, and by keeping Sunday, they're actually keeping the Sabbath commandment. But that is not correct. Why? Because keeping Sunday is not keeping the Sabbath commandment. The commandment in Exodus chapter 20 verse 8 said, 6 days shall thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord. The law element of that commandment is pegged on the prohibition of certain work on a specific day. That is the law. The law was that thou shalt not do these works on this specific day. The law was not rest on Sunday. The law was that refrain from these works on the Sabbath day, on the seventh day. So if you take away the strictness on the day, as people say that it does not matter which day you go, my friend, the nature of that commandment is altered. If you replace that day, that commandment is changed too. So when you go out and says that, I am keeping the fourth commandment, or rather I am keeping the Sabbath commandment by resting on Sunday, the only question is, who commanded you to rest on Sunday? Because anyone who is keeping the seventh day is doing so because they think God commanded them, and they can prove you. You will ask them that, why are you keeping the seventh day? They will take you to the Bible and say, God said, do this and this. There is a commandment that God issued and said, keep seventh day. Now, if you keep Sunday, the question is, who commanded it? Who said, thou shalt keep holy the Sunday, the first day, or the Lord's day, as they said? So, for all the reasons that someone is resting and keeping Sunday, none of them is because God had commanded it. Because God did not command it. And that is the point where many people who discuss about this, they say the Sabbath is no longer required. So that they say that keeping Sunday is not sin, at the same time keeping Saturday is not sin. But not keeping seventh day Sabbath, that should be sin. Why? Because to sin is to transgress the law of God. God had commanded that you should keep it. And so if you don't keep it, then you should see the sense that you are transgressing the law, and that is what sin is. God's law is not subject to redefinition, as people may come and redefine and say that the specificity on the day of the Sabbath day was applicable to Israel, but when we come to this day, the law is on rest. Which such law is thou shalt rest? That is a necessity of the natural law. So in respect to God's 10 commandments, anyone who is disregarding the fourth one or the Sabbath commandment, you should be aware that you are keeping 9 of them. And if you say you are keeping 10, I wonder which is the 10th one and who commanded it. Because the Sabbath one, that is not